Hello and welcome to an abridged version of Nationwide. I am Olajide Bello, and we do hope you enjoyed the rich cultural heritage of the Niger Delta region there. And remember, you can watch this broadcast live on our website nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. Now let's start from the presidency. Contrary to misinformation and fake news circulating online, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu says he has never stopped issuing 5-year multiple entry visas for U.S. citizens in accordance with the principle of subsisting bilateral agreements and reciprocity. In a statement by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the president adds that immediately after assuming office, a service-wide directive was issued that Nigeria will implement all bilateral agreements with other nations and adhere to the principle of reciprocity in diplomatic relations. In line with this, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has clearly stated the position of the federal government, and it will continue engagement with the USA to address the unfavorable restrictions in a just and fair manner that reflects the mutual respect and partnership that still exists between our two friendly nations. And from the Temple of Justice, the Supreme Court of Nigeria has affirmed the victory of Monday Okpebholo in the Edo State September 21, 2024 off-cycle governorship election. Olabo Diarewa reports that all the issues in contention were resolved against the appellants.
Upon losing the appeal that he filed before the Intermediate Court to challenge his loss at the Election Tribunal, Asorime Ighodalo and his party, the People's Democratic Party, approached the Apex Court for final determination of the matter. Asorime had alleged that he won the election, that Okpebholo's victory was invalid because it purportedly did not comply with the Electoral Act 2022. The 5-man panel, led by Justice Muhammad Garba, said Aswe and the PDP failed to lead credible evidence in support of their assertions.
His victory has been affirmed by the courts of the land.
No issues of dissent. The Supreme Court agreed in totality. I urge all our supporters that they should not disperse. They should be peaceful.
The Apex Court unanimously agreed with the lower courts that dumping beavers machines before the tribunal without leading evidence on them was fatal to Asue Ighodalo's case. Olabo Diarewa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the president has congratulated Governor Monday Okpebholo of Edo State on the affirmation of his election by the Supreme Court. In a statement, he lauded the Supreme Court's neutrality and encouraged Governor Okpebholo to be magnanimous in victory and rally the citizens of Edo across divides towards a singular vision of advancing the state's development. He also congratulated the All Progressives Congress APC in Edo State and calls for cohesion and dedication in effectively discharging the mandates given by the people. The Nigerian Army's 223 Large Battalion Zulu has successfully repelled a bandit attack on Biba town in Danko Wasagu local government area of Kebbi State. The attempted assault involved over 400 armed bandits who sought to overrun the area. Kebbi State Director of Security Abdurrahman Zaga, who confirmed the development in Benin Kebbi, says a fierce gun battle ensued between the troops and the attackers, resulting in the elimination of many of the bandits, while some of the assailants managed to retrieve the corpses of their fallen comrades. Others were left behind, along with a cache of recovered weapons. He acknowledged swift intervention of the Nigerian Air Force, whose fighter jets provided critical air support, bombing fleeing bandits and inflicting heavy casualties. Now to the National Assembly. The Nigerian Army is calling on the National Assembly to enact laws that will make persons engaged in illegal trading, aiding and possession of firearms to face capital punishment. Theater Commander of the Joint Task Force Operation Hadinkai, Major General Abdulsalam Abubakar, made the plea during operational briefing to the Senate Committee on Army during its oversight visits to Maiduguri, Borno State. National Assembly correspondent Isa Mohammed reports.
The visit by the Senate Committee on the Army to Maiduguri provided an opportunity for the Joint Task Force Operation Hadinkai to brief the committee on its operations, successes, challenges, and the way forward on security of the Northeast region.
Your support has also positively influenced the drive for increased synergy among the services and agencies operating in the Northeast, especially within the framework of jointness, interagency cooperation, and civil-military relations.
The government of Borno State and the committee pledged to continue supporting the Joint Task Force operations in the Northeast.
With the state government, providing security benefits to our security agencies in the state. I believe with such collaborations, even not the state itself, if agencies or partners are coming in to support the federal government, I think it will go a long way.
We believe there is need to, take the army out of the envelope budget, and that we are trying to, synergize with not only the Army Committee, both the Defense, Air Force, and Navy, and other security agencies, so that, they are taken out and they begin to have, they get their funds from first line charge.
The committee visits project sites in the Maiduguri cantonment, construction of new structures for both juniors and seniors cadre, as well as the 7 division headquarters, with some projects completed while others are in different stages of completion. From Maiduguri, Borno State, Isa Muhammad, NTA News.
And Adiola Kamiakere is standing by from the Center of Excellence on updates on infrastructure developments in the state. Adiola, over to you.
Alajide. The National Assembly will keenly support President Tinubu administration's timely delivery of all major road projects undergoing construction and rehabilitation across the country. The statement is credited to members of the National Assembly Joint Committee on Works when they paid an oversight visit to Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Larry Bilenyi has the details.
The frequent monitoring of roads construction by the federal government sent a clear signal that expedience in delivery time of the project is of utmost importance. This is why the National Assembly Joint Committee on Works visited the Ojo-Iwo Road section of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, where they expressed satisfaction at the level of work done on that section of the road.
On a very good job. They're going to conclude very soon, but it's not yet to Huru. We're still going to come back because we're still going to come to Ibadan, Oyo, and then Oyo, Ubomosho, and we're going to pass through this place in a few weeks. So we'll see if they're going to keep their promise. But so far, so good. Special thanks to them. Special thanks to the President, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for responding to this.
When we see work being done to specification, we give kudos to the contractor. When it is not done well, we also tell them to do corrective actions. We've raised concerns, especially on the shoulders where they have not done anything to protect the road from erosion. And the site rep confirmed that they are still going to do some drains and some caps to protect the road.
The House Joint Committee is of the belief that the contractors handling the project will effect the necessary corrections at areas pointed at before their next oversight visit. In Lagos, Larry Bilenyi, NTA News.
And that's it from Lagos. The nationwide news will continue with Olajide in Abuja when we return from this break. Please stay with us.
Welcome back. The Federal Ministry of Education has taken a decisive stand against commercialization of accreditation process of some professional courses, stressing that preserving the quality of academic programs is key to building a more equitable and effective education system. This position formed part of the resolutions reached at a recent stakeholders engagement. Zenret Ding reports.
We have a situation where a professional body will go to a university and say, we have closed that department, that program.
Deliberations were intense, focused and far-reaching, and at the heart of discussions was a critical issue: the impact of over-enrolled universities on the quality of training and the competence of graduates in professional practice. A major highlight of the meeting was the push for stronger collaboration between professional regulatory bodies and relevant government agencies. This, stakeholders believe, will help harmonize standards and documentation processes across board. A consensus was also reached on key reforms, including setting a minimum of 5 years between accreditation exercises and encouraging regulatory bodies to self-fund their operations rather than rely on institutions.
It's becoming a major a problem with our resources.
Anybody who has a relation in the National Assembly now has a license to go and accredit. And when you abuse such situation, to get to a point that reasonable people will ask questions.
It's about the academics and also about the professionalism. So to separate them, in fact, in the first instance, we shouldn't have even separated them because they align. They must align for us to have a perfect, trained individual.
You as professional councils, you should not limit capacities. You're limiting the number of students that these universities can take.
This collective resolve to re-evaluate current practices and adopt more strategic enforcement mechanisms aims to enhance efficiency and integrity across the education sector. In Abuja, Zenred Dingmun, NTA News.
Now let's join Salamatu Mohammed in Kaduna for updates on the National Orientation Agency's engagement to end insecurity. Salamatu.
Good day and welcome to Kaduna. Giving back to society is a key responsibility of professional and community development organizations supporting the realization of government agenda across various sectors of human and societal development. This is the motivation behind the decision of the Nigerian Medical Students Association in collaboration with the Ranu, Kibia, and Bunkure Development Association to provide free hepatitis screening to hundreds of residents in the areas. Habibu Husseini reports that the initiative is aimed at complementing government's efforts to ensure access to quality health care for all.
The program, which targets 3,000 beneficiaries, is part of a broader development initiative aimed at supporting vulnerable members of society and complementing government efforts to achieve universal health coverage. Sani Ibrahim and Hajara Lawan are among the recent beneficiaries of the program, saying all the medical services were provided to them free of charge.
I really appreciate how the doctors are doing their job, so that I'm among those who benefit this investigation.
The organizers say the initiative was born out of a commitment to reduce the growing number of hepatitis cases in the society.
We provide access to care in coalition with the federal government and the state government, because hepatitis is a silent killer, we all know, and it's a necessity. We've took it upon us to see we've done something in our little way as medical students, to advocate, to enlighten, to support, and to provide access to care.
We intend to have awareness within our people so that wherever, at any given time, one could even go for a test to test whether he's affected or he's not. So this is what we want to achieve. And
the pre-medical outreach currently ongoing in Rano, Kibia, and Bunkure local government areas has received the blessings of the Emir of Rano, Muhammad Isa Umar. Awards were also presented to individuals who have distinguished themselves in service to humanity. In Kano, Habib Hussein, NTA News.
And that is it. On our package from here is back to Olajide in our Abuja studios.
Many thanks, Salamatu, and to education here. Teachers under the Local Education Authority in the FCT have suspended their 3 months industrial action. The strike was in protest over the non-payment of 9 months national minimum wage, 40% peculiar allowance, and 14 months arrears of a 25 to 35% salary increment, as well as the lack of promotions And the area council, Hadiza Godwin-Ebune, visited some schools in the Federal Capital Territory and now reports.
It has been 3 months since public primary schools in the FCT last witnessed teaching and learning activities. That changed today as the industrial action embarked upon by the local education authority teachers have been suspended. A visit to some schools revealed that both teachers and pupils have returned to the classroom.
It has been a long time I've been on strike and I've not been feeling okay that I see other children going to school.
We have come back to school and we used to read our books.
I'm happy because I'm happy that I'll go to JS1.
The Nigerian Union of Teachers FCT wing explained that prolonging what they described as an already overstretched strike, especially as the academic year winds down and promotional examinations are ongoing, could negatively impact pupils. They also noted that the FCT administration has shown willingness to address some of their demands.
If you are happy, you know you overwork. But if you are not happy, will you overwork? And so even if it is 2 weeks to vacations, we will know how to go about it.
For about 40% turnoff, and the teachers up to 50%.
50% of the pupils are here now.
Meanwhile, stakeholders are calling on both government and the union to ensure a lasting resolution to all pending issues. The stress that resolving the impasse is crucial for national development, particularly in light of prevailing economic challenges and the goodwill demonstrated so far. Hadiza Godwin-Ebune, NTA News.
More than 5,700 candidates who have been found worthy in learning and character have been called to bar as new legal practitioners in Nigeria. Olabode Arewa reports that the colourful event was attended by friends and relatives of the new wigs.
Chiamaka Nwafo Obasi is one of the new wigs just called to the Nigerian bar as a solicitor and advocate. Having successfully passed the July 2025 final bar examinations, she is glad that her labors have been worthwhile.
Well, at the moment I'm excited, but it wasn't easy.
The final bar examination is the last step before the 5,725 candidates were called to bar. And at the ceremony, Chairman, Body of Benchers, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, reminded them of the responsibilities attached to being part of the legal profession.
You are not to do any act or conduct yourself in a manner that will obstruct or adversely affect the course of justice.
The charge by the chairman of the Board of Benchers is for the new wigs to uphold the tradition.
I advise the members of the public to allow lawyers first to do their work as lawyers and don't push them unnecessarily.
The occasion was witnessed by very senior members of the bar and the bench. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
And let's join Susan in Makudi for more on Nationwide. Susan, over to you.
In Makudi. Key players from Nasarawa, Taraba and Benue State have brainstormed on collaborative approach to conflict resolution, harping on the need to clearly define boundaries between states to promote peace and stability. This was at a peace-building workshop in Makudi, the Benue State capital. Simbiat Agbaji reports.
The United Kingdom's government strengthening peace and resilience in Nigeria's Spring Project is working to resolve conflicts in Benue State. Recently, the project organized a workshop in collaboration with the Benue State Commission for Peace and Reconciliation. The Deputy Governor Sam Ode at the workshop emphasized the importance of neighboring states working together and having clear boundary demarcations for peace. He quipped that peace building requires an open-minded approach.
Let us look at the issues of peace building as a journey. It is not a destination, because life presents fresh challenges every day. So we must be dynamic. We must come to engage with our neighbors with an open mind on these issues.
The senior program advisor at the British High Commission, Graham Gass, explained that the project was designed to address widespread conflicts, particularly in Benue State.
The solutions need to be about cooperation and collaboration. And this is an opportunity to start, I think, to start the process or to build on a process of cooperation and collaboration.
Other speakers at the workshop, including the Totif, Professor James Ayatse, called for the revival of the National Peace Policy and suggested forming a Benue Youth Forum.
We can always sit down and discuss, give and take, a win-win situation, but when you apply force because you are in a position to do so, then agitations will arise.
The workshop aimed to promote peace and reconciliation in Benue State through dialogue and collaboration. In Makudi, Simbiat Agbaji, NTA News.
And that's it from Makudi. Kemi is standing by in Ibadan after this time out.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we swear in colors, with undying demand. We make solutions, we ignite passion, yeah. Ethnicity is unique, we are more than just a nation. We are Nigeria, we are Nigeria, strengthening unity, we know they carry lives. We are Nigeria, together live the dream of a land with great destiny. We are Nigeria.
I am the real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency.
You're still watching Nationwide on the NTA, and welcome to Ibadan. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Oyo State, says the by-election in Ibadan North Federal Constituency will hold as scheduled, with preparations underway for a successful outing. Resident Electoral Commissioner, INEC, Oyo State, Dr. Ramon Tella, disclosed these during a stakeholders meeting with representatives of political parties in Ibadan. Correspondent to Yinka Omoli reports.
With 19 political parties in the state expressing interest to participate in the by-election in Ibadan North Federal Constituency, INEC in Oyo State intimated representatives of the political parties at the stakeholders meeting with what is required of them ahead of the August 16th exercise for a seamless exercise.
We admonish every party to always play the game according to the rules.
Resident Electoral Commissioner Oyo State, Dr. Ramon Tella, while pledging the readiness of the commission, disclosed that the by-election will take place in 152 polling units in 12 registration area centers and wards, with 272,196 registered voters and 217,980 voter cards collected.
The commission will also employ both members of National Youth Service Corps and staff members of the commission, totaling 2,152 for this upcoming by-election. The commission is required to conduct by-election to fill the vacant legislative seats within 90 days from the date the vacancy occurs. This could not take place then as a result of logistics and financial challenges.
It will be recalled that the by-election became necessary due to the death of Olaide Akinremi on the 10th of July 2024 in Ibadan. Oyeyinka Omole, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. It's back to Olajide in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Many thanks, Kemi. And that's it on the abridged version of Nationwide. Many thanks for being a part of it. I'm Olajide Bello.